All right, welcome back. It's now time for us to get to the discussion. Being a Monday, 10th day of August 2026. It's now 7 minutes past 7 a.m. Let's get to the discussion right now, Eye on Politics. And before then, allow me to take you through the front page of the local dailies, starting with the Star. The Star says that poor rainfall leaves Kitale and Eldoret maize crop withered. The poor rainfall leaves Kitale and Eldoret maize crop withered. That is as per the Star newspaper. What started as bad season, now food security concern. Yes, and remember that when the president was there a week ago, he said that the government was going to do something to cushion the farmers against the drought and poor yield in their farms. There is a question here of talk of president. Yes, it was a colorful weekend for the first family, where Charlene Ruto also tied the knot with her fiancé. That is Isaiah Yunge. That happened in Kilgoris over the weekend. So on the front page of the Star, that is what I have for you there. But the main read is that poor rainfall leaves Kitale and Eldoret maize farmers in agony. Okay, so that is the front page of the Star newspaper. And once Kitale is struggling, then it means there's going to be a ripple effect to that. Okay. Still on the front page, XDP Rigathi targets 100 MPs and clean sweep in Mount Kenya region. That is his target, as reported by the Star newspaper. Very fast on the front page of the Standard is asking a question. Where are they? That is the big question on the front page of the Standard. Where are they? This is with regards to the police officers who the Standard says are on the run, implicated by the DCI in one of the most chilling murders in recent memory. Inspector Kenneth Kipkemboi and constables Elijah Kibelion and Collins Kiplangat are linked to the daylight killing of Dr. Victoria Mutiso. Detectives have also placed the three officers at different stages of the plot, with Kipkemboi and Kiplangat now on the run. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua yesterday claimed that the officers were paid 1.5 million shillings for the hit and that the two of them were arrested but released after a phone call from the Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen. The chilling question now is how officers entrusted with protecting lives became part of an execution squad and why two of them remain free. That is a big question on the front page of the Standard. All right, so there's another question here, not a question per se, but a concern, health concern. For the former U.S. President, Joe Biden's prostate cancer battle highlights need for early diagnosis. Former U.S. President's prostate cancer has spread to his bones. According to the Standard, bone is the most common site of spread in the advanced prostate cancer, affecting up to 9 in 10 men. Okay, that is what I have here. So on the front page is what I have, and on the inner pages, you can also take a look at this story. But there's another story here. Ruto's education gamble faces tough test. Many reforms remain unsettled, leaving the president with little time to deliver before elections. And universities are in debt, while high school grappling with inadequate capitation and teachers. And finally, on the front page of the Daily Nation is reporting something that I know my guest will also have a word on. 1 year to go. Yes, 1 year to go. Peter?
Yes.
1 year to go.
Yes.
Are you feeling some goosebumps?
No, I'm ready.
You're ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very much ready.
Very good. So 1 year to go. That is to the general election. And actually, the Daily Nation has just highlighted some of the timelines there from August 10th, where the publication of limits for expenditure, contributions, and donations. On December 10th, it will be the issuance of compliance certificate to compliant political parties. And on February 9th, it will be the deadline for public officers intending to vie to resign from office. That is February next year, February 9th. Mark that date. And on March 16th, political parties to submit membership lists to IEBC. And May 9th, that is next year, the independent candidates to submit their names and symbols. So if you are an independent candidate, you have up till 9th of May 2027 to submit your name and the symbol of your party. Very good. And of course, something that is quite troubling here, gentlemen, that I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gentlemen who have been highlighted on the front page of the Daily Nation, but there is only one lady, that is Martha Karua, vying for the top seat. Frank, what do you make of that?
I cannot see President William Ruto.
The president here.
Shining
exactly,
others.
yes.
or the one who's up.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yes, because he's the incumbent.
I think that still highlights how far we are in terms of implementing our constitution, specifically on the issue of gender equality. Because I expect at this time that more ladies will come out and challenge for these top positions. But you see, it's only Martha Karua, senior counsel, who is on that front line. But be it as it may, there is still room for many others to come, because we need to see to it that the Constitution of Kenya is implemented to the latter, and be able to grapple the opportunities that it brings forth to Kenyans in terms of positions of leadership in the country, because we actually need to see a change. We've been having a patriarchal form of society where the men are dominant. So we need to encourage ladies and young people also. I'm happy to see Sifuna there.
Yeah, he's here. Okay.
I'm happy to see Sifuna there.
First of all, Peter Ndungu. Peter Ndungu is a political analyst. He's also vying for Kiambu senatorial seat.
Yes.
All right. And also I have Davis Binoloch. Davis Binoloch is ODM Youth League, member of ODM Youth League. Davis, karibu sana.
Thank you.
And of course, Ojari Frank, who is an advocate of the High Court. Karibu sana. And finally, I have Busiori Mtetezi. Ebu jitete Mtetezi. Why don't we have women on the front line? It's an open field. Yes, I know there is, in the Constitution, there is that space for women, all right, women rep. But on the big seat, I hope we needed to have more faces than...
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And even that alone, as you can see, Mother is lost in that big line for men.
Yes.
It is not a constitutional problem. It's a societal problem. We cannot address societal challenges through the constitution unless there is a societal attempt, which then we can use constitutional means
which
to
is not there.
enhance.
Which is not there.
It is not there. The first person to run for office, for presidential office, was I think Ngilu, Charity Ngilu, and she did very well. Since then, there have been attempts, but very moot attempts.
Yeah.
And maybe this time we try to enhance the participation of women to the extent that we entrench it in law to have anyone running for president pick a running mate as a woman or vice versa. That we will have one of, a woman at the top, and possibly a Tanzania moment may happen. And we have a suluhu. But is it the aspiration of community?
That is a big cue, because look at it this way. If you want to entrench the Constitution, that, and you know how ethnical our politics is. We vote or we pick our... Actually, the choice of a running mate determines who is the president in Kenya. So if you had to pick a woman who is a running mate, you would imagine. You know, the drafters of the Constitution, Wakil would tell you, was they knew what they were doing.
The drafters were politicians, sadly, who looked at ethnic mobilization and ethnic balancing.
Yeah.
But there's no denial, women are also ethnic leaders. They are very strong women. If today they were, if there was a mandatory choice to have a woman as a pair, certain women will emerge very strongly. We have very strong women in this country.
Yeah.
Only that the whole burden of running for office, for president, is for the candidate himself, not for the running mate. The running mate is like, is just a pace setter, but the real person who uses his resources, networks, experience to rally a whole country to have a bargain at the top is the candidate himself.
Yeah.
We should have put a premium on the running mate. It is not there, it's cosmetic. For now, it's cosmetic. But if we had put a premium that for you to be chosen as running mate, you must form your own party, mobilize certain level of numbers, have a certain regional influence.
Yeah.
Then today, some of these people ranked there as probably contenders will disappear. And we will have very serious people, either for president or running mate. But as things stand out now, it is the president who does the heavy lifting, or the presidential candidate.
Yeah.
The running mate is just picked to show balance and to show regional whatever.
Do you
Actually,
think so?
someone can win president without running mate.
We've seen how contentious this is. Let me come to you, Davis. Davis Binoloshi is ODM Youth League. We all know how contentious the running mate position can be, even in the counties. From where I come from, they say that it's rotational because the governor came from this region. It has to go to the other side. You have to pick a running mate from this clan. That clan cannot. You know that game? Go ahead.
Thank you so much for hosting us this morning.
Yeah.
And I think what I can say is that we have a lot of work to do, but little time, because, Victor, this did not start today. You see, long time ago, women used to be like inferior in the society. Just like black people in our society, the whites was deemed to be superior than the blacks. And it got into our head. And today we are still struggling with that. Everything white is superior. Manchester is superior than Gor Mahia. Or things like that. And so as it was...
all the way. No.
As it was...
Maybe take back that one.
No, okay. You see, let me tell you, Victor, yesterday I was watching Man U fans and Arsenal fans playing here at Nyayo Stadium, Man U fans and Arsenal fans. Gor Mahia fans in England cannot play against Ingwe fans in England. So we deem them superior. We deem England superior more than our own leagues. That is what I meant, not literally. So women were deemed inferior. And there arose people who spoke about it. There was the Fanny Liu Hemers, there were the Martha Karuas, there were Ongari Madais, the Margaret Thatchers, the Queen Elizabeth. And they showed us that women can also do quite a good work if they are given opportunity. But we are still not there yet. And that's why I'm saying still a lot of work to do, little time. So it is a matter of financing the women, giving them civic education, more so the young women who are still in school, telling them that women can, giving them opportunities, rare opportunities, taking them into the political parties and giving them positions in the political parties, in the top committees. And also, of course, if we go ahead, maybe to consult the lawyer and maybe change the laws of our nation. Of course, now we are talking about Vision 2060 and say that for you to run, the vice must be from different gender. It happens in our universities. So I think we can get there, Victor, so that also when we talk about equality and equity, we talk about it in all facets. Yes.
Okay. So, Peter, allow me to come back to this discussion.
Yes.
I started by asking you, 1 year to go, are we ready?
We are very ready, and I can say that IBC confirmed, is it yesterday or the day before yesterday, that also they are ready. As from where I stand as politicians, we are ready. We have started doing what is called crowd mobilization. We have started talking to our people And this is a continuous process whereby in my own vision, I'm saying that me, I belong to Team Kujituma. So I'm going to the ground, talking to the people, addressing their issues, and doing what I'm supposed to do. So me, I can say that we are ready and the process has started. The calendar is out. And then there'll be a continuous process of saying this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're supposed to do. And we are trying to do our level best to make sure that these votes, as many votes comes to us. And also I'm going to say that you have just read there that the opposition leader in our Mount Kenya region, me, I belong to UDA, Kenya Kwanza. I support His Excellency William Ruto because I believe his vision and mission, and especially now what he produced as Vision 2060, which is talking about 5 trillion infrastructure fund. And by the way, Victor, there is one thing I would like to tell you today, that when we inherited this country from the former regime, this country was minus $2 billion US. Today, as we are talking in the infrastructure fund, we are plus 2.75 billion US. So we are doing something. We are on the journey, right track towards the right direction. You're talking about 5 trillion. Yes, we are 6% there, but we are headed there. So we are doing the right thing at the right time. He's talking about sweeping 100 seats. Yes, we are there. We have had him, and we are on the ground working very hard. And I can assure you, he will not get 50% of that, what he's talking about. Because we are there, we are talking, we are addressing the issues which are affecting our people, and we are going to do anything possible to make sure that our people will give us the second term as far as President William Ruto is concerned for the continuity of this vision of this country. And the most important thing which was read on 2060 vision was that 2060 vision will be non-partisan, non-political, that is going to be steered by any government which come into power without considering the political party or political class. This is going to empower our people through the right way. You heard the Professor Nyang' Nyong'o, the way he was saying that by 2060 we want people's life to be totally transformed, that no favor will be done to our people, like the way things are happening today. That's in some of the region, you know, people are preserving, assuming that for us to have a tarmac road, for us to have the other thing, we need to be in this kind of arrangement, you need to be this kind of government. But by 2060, it will be a right of all Kenyan. So I think we are ready, as is about continuity. We have talked about our vision, we have talked about our plans, and the most important is that talking about 10,000 megawatts, talking about 5 trillion infrastructure fund, I think that was still our area vision for this country. So I think we are on the right track, and we are going to do anything possible, talking to our people, preaching with them, convincing them, telling, and trying to fight the narrative of propaganda, narrative of tribalism, and all the other narrative to make sure that we get our second term and the president continue, and also Peter Ndung'u to get his first term to serve as the senator Kiambu County, and to make sure that I'm going to bring the wealth of experience and people-driven leadership, because that is what we are lacking. Imagine some of our leaders in this country, not only Kiambu County, but in this country, people are not even campaigning. They are following a party leader so that they can be elected. No vision, nothing. We have to move away from that. People must start voting for people who have said, this is what I'm going to do for you people. That issue of following a party leader, you are just holding on to him. You cannot even come to the ground. You are just appearing where the party leader is. Must come to an end. And this is not only Kiambu County. This is not only Kenya country.
Peter, let me cut you short. What is ideal?
The ideal is Kenyan citizens, Kenyan voters, to start asking the hard question to the people who are offering themselves for this elective post.
To who?
Give us vision.
To who? To the leaders, right?
Leaders like me.
Okay.
Or maybe him is contesting in a particular area, you want a particular seat, maybe member of parliament for a particular constituency. Let them ask him, what are you going to do for us? And then after that, at the election, if he wins or I win, then after that we have a debate that you say you are going to do this.
And that's in that clarification, Peter. So Kenyans should move away from following a particular individual, personalities, right?
Yes.
And start adhering to the party ideologies.
No, I'm saying this. The party ideology are there and they are very important.
Okay.
But who is the driver? Peter is contesting for Senator seat Kiambu. Peter, you are in UDA. Well, thank you. Now, what do you want to do for us? Can you give us your manifesto, you as Peter, not the UDA party, but you as Peter, in line with the UDA manifesto, what is your manifesto as our incoming senator? Because let me tell you, the moment we are elected, we go to either Senate or to the Parliament or the County Assembly. We are addressed as Member of Parliament for Ugenya, Member of Parliament for Kiku, Senator for Kiambu, Senator for Vihiga, for the other place. We are not addressed as ODM Senator for, or UDA Senator for, no. Because now the parties are vehicles which take us from, for us to be elected. But after that, we must hold people accountable.
Even before that, Musiori, can Kenya's politics move beyond election to election thinking? That is just my simple question. Can we move beyond that? Because we are talking about Vision 2060. The president will be flagging off that move in the next 2 days. That's on Wednesday. But can we move beyond election to election thinking?
It's hard because it's our culture. And it's a good thing, by the way. Our neighboring countries don't have that culture we have of thinking election after election. But look at how they suffer in terms of narrow democratic space. The problem is making everything look like a political thing. Otherwise, Kenya is better having that election mood as a weapon of trying to tell the politician that don't think it will take too long. We are soon coming for you. That will make them wake up and do something for Wananchi. The only sad reality is that we haven't exited the ethnic blocks yet. We are not thinking national. We are not holding the politician accountable. And we just think that we're only trying to hold the president accountable and not the other politicians. For example, and I'm not referring specifically to Sifuna, but I would have expected Sifuna, for example, to give us an exit report for his work as senator for Nairobi. Have you succeeded as senator for Nairobi? What are hits and misses? Then you tell us, given a bigger opportunity, I will do more, for example. Okay? His predecessors, Sonko and Sakaja, while they didn't give us a report, they actually transited to be governors, which means they got an endorsement of what they had done as senators, for you to be given a higher premium position. Okay? Now, you will hear Senator Sifuna and many other MPs saying Ruto one term. But they're also serving one term, and they have not told us whether they will defend their position successfully or they are trying to seek an exit strategy. Why are we trying to hold only the president accountable and not MCA, MP, senator, governor? Okay?
Yes.
I've heard even some governors shouting one term. And our governor has resources just like the president, of course not equal, but resources. So the only way of holding the politician accountable is to have the Kenyan mass judge politicians and hold them accountable. But we must resist any politician trying to hold the other accountable while themselves, in their current positions, they are not being accountable. For example, if you take an example, others have served as vice presidents before. What is their track record? And when they come to the public, what do they really say? Forget about what we will want to say about them. What can you say, like, I was once vice president, this is what I achieved? And an interesting scenario is when I hear everyone running for president other than President William Ruto is said to be sponsored by a former president. And all of them, none of them voted for that president for the 3 elections, actually 4 elections he attempted. But another character came very viciously, campaigned, then they disappeared to a certain ethnic bloc, and then they become irrelevant. Each one running today. Let us take an example of Matiang'i, just came from the US, made very good inroads, then disappeared to the Kisii bloc. Then another one has come, Kalonzo is trying to make an inroad, then again retreats to Eastern. And then there is Sifuna. I mean, the last last rallies are in Western. He tried to do something in Thika, and I was very happy for him. Then he was warned and told, you go and consolidate Western. He goes back to Western. We are now going to have tribal kings who will then come up and try to unseat a president. And then if they defer midway, then we will have a tribal president. What we need to have are structures, national structures, where people, either you create your own party or a coalition of parties.
Yeah.
That party should have the Vision 2030 the president is telling us should not just be a party affair, but can also be sponsored by parties.
Yes.
So that any party that forms government will have something to execute. And this is the only president, by the way, elected on a manifesto. Bottom up, tells us he will do housing, and he's trying to do those things. The only problem we have with him, or a certain cross-section of Kenyans have with against the president, is how he executes. For example, yes, we need houses, but do you need to tax me to do those houses? Those are questions, and I would expect the opposition to say, yes, we will do houses without taxing you.
Okay.
Good. But you cannot just sing must go every day without telling us what exactly you will do and how you will do it.
I mean, look at it this way, Davis. I asked a question, if Kenyan politics can move beyond election to election, and he's also given his side of the story quite elaborately. But can we get out of that? Because we all know how Kenyan politics is made. Is it good? Is it healthy for the economy? Is it good for our development track record and agenda as a nation, or what?
Victor, I don't think it's good. Because then, you see, Victor, what I think is that we need to have a plan, maybe a long-term plan. And we need to make politics less glamorous and less about hatred and more about bipartisanship and more patriotism. So that when there are things that we need to do together as government and opposition, we do them together. When the time for campaigns reaches, we go out and campaign. But what we are seeing, Victor, is that people don't really do a bipartisan approach. Because, Victor, let's say, for example, today, God forbid, Al-Shabaab attacks our nation. We need the minds of the opposition, and we need people in government. We need all of them. Let us come up with a solution fast. But you do know what the opposition will do and what the government will do? The opposition will say, no, see what Ruto is doing to our country. Al-Shabaab is attacking us. We need to come together fast, solve the issue, then we can blame later. And vice versa in terms of in terms of development. Now President Ruto is talking about Vision 2060. We need to come together. I actually think we need to come together, both government and opposition, and talk about our nation. Where did we come from in 1963? Where were we in 1982? What did we achieve in 1990? What did we achieve in 2002? What did we achieve in 2010 with the new constitution? What happened in 2024 with the Gen Z? And what about 2026? What can we do together? And what are the aspirations of this nation in the year 2050? What are the aspirations of this nation in the year 2060? Can we bring the brains of Edwin Sifuna? Can we bring the brains of Fred Matiang'i, wherever he got it from the World Bank? Can we bring Mukisa Kitui, who's been a good servant of this nation? Can we bring Maraga, who's been is emeritus CJ, and talk about the nation? Can we bring William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua? Can we bring Winnie Odinga on board and Mama Ida Odinga? Can we bring them together and talk about the nation? That is what we should be doing. And Victor, if you hear, and I follow a lot about American elections, if you hear the presidents after each and after every election, President Barack Obama, after being elected, he'll tell you that I've received a gracious call from John McCain, and he's agreed that we'll now come together and work together for the nation. That is how things should work. If President Ruto wins in 2027, should call Edwin Sifuna and Rigathi Gachagua and tell them, okay, you had manifestos. What were in your manifestos? Can you bring them and we sort out this nation together? Yes. If President Ruto loses in 2027 and Edwin Sifuna wins, let Edwin Sifuna call President Ruto. President Ruto, you had a manifesto. What did you envision this nation to be?
All right.
And let us work together. So, Victor, in short, politics after election it should be null and void. We do politics after 4 years after election.
In Kenya?
We should try and do that. Because when is a campaign supposed to start?
Okay, all right. I get your point. But you talked about something to do with the US. Their system is completely different from ours. I mean, look at the political parties they have. Exactly. How many do we have? Clocking to almost 100. More than 100. And some actually are even struggling to get registered with no time left.
Victor, let me answer this in very short words.
Let's just take a quick break. We still have much to talk about. I'll come back to you.
Oh, you fight me back.
All right. Okay, the gentleman speaking in the background is Peter Ndungu. Okay, Karibu Sana, welcome back. Now let's continue the discussion. So, Wakili, there's a question that I want to ask you. If it's possible to have the development records, based on also, I still ask the same question, whether we can move from election to election kind of politics and thinking. And if it's possible so that we can have some of the national vision that actually even the president talked about in the Vision 2060, anchored in law, and just to have it kind of a constitutional kind of framework, that it's predictable from one regime to the next.
So, first of all, I've had some interesting statements from my panelists. I thought there was team 1 term, team 2 term. Now I've had kuna team kujituma.
Yes. Team Kujituma. From Peter Ndungu.
But then we must also, Victor, appreciate the kind of a space that the country operates within. We are in a democratic space, and our constitution is based on democracy, which forms the basis, or rather the pillar, in which most of the provisions are anchored on. For example, when you look at the Bill of Rights, that's just a democratic space where people can express themselves in different ways, and also claim that which they so feel like belongs to them naturally. Now, when you talk about moving from election to election, that has to do with the plans that the regimes that come in power have. For example, during independence, we had a vision. And President Kenyatta was talking about kuondoa ujinga, kumaliza umaskini, na kuhakikisha hakuna magonjwa. So that was in itself a vision. So the question we are asking ourselves is, how much have we achieved, or how did we perform in terms of those three things? Did we actually as a country do away with ugonjwa? Did we do away with umaskini? Did we ensure that people are, poverty is not there? So those are the kind of questions that we need to ask ourselves, because we are still struggling with communicable diseases. We still have outbreaks of typhoid and such things. And then President Moi Kibaki came in 2002. And there he launched what is called Vision 2030, which was anchored on 3 pillars also. The political sphere, the social sphere, and the economic sphere. The question is, how much have we achieved as far as those 3 spheres are concerned? Political-wise, people are able to form, so much political parties, enjoy so much political rights and all that. And I think we have done well. On the social sphere, have we attained what is called social justice? Have we ensured that the rule of law is at all times upheld, and all those things? And those are things entrenched in the Constitution. When it comes to the economic sphere, we are looking at how can mwananchi be able to, move from poverty lines to middle class and all that. So the question is, have we done? How have we performed in terms of, the economic sphere? Now, the president is talking about Vision 2060. My question is, how are we moving from Vision 2030 to Vision 2060? What is the scorecard in terms of Vision 2030? Given that he's, formed part of the regime for the past, now let me say 15 years. He has been in almost the highest office. He was the deputy president, now he's the president. What milestone in that capacity has he made to just ensure that within those 15 years that he has been in power and in all those positions, something significant has been done in terms of Vision 2030. Now, as we move to Vision 2060, I would be interested to, first of all, get to understand from the President how we have performed as a country as far as Vision 2030 is concerned. Now, election to election, our space, as I said, is a democratic space. And it gives, the Constitution now gives the the common person, or rather those who don't form government, the right to hold the government accountable. And that's their right. So, our Constitution envisages a space where there is going to be an opposition. And what is the work of this opposition?
Yeah.
It's to keep the government on its toes. So we must now appreciate the fact that we might never move out from an election to election. We might never move out from a campaign mode, given that there is work to be done by the opposition, and that is to criticize the government. And so what is the work of the government in terms of that criticism? It is to look at it and borrow heavily from it. Perhaps I would like to see a more mature democracy, a more mature people, a more integral persons that when you are criticized, you can be able to, look back and check on what is happening.
Yeah.
For example, we could not have gotten to what happened in 2024 June, because the finance bill was there and the voices were there. I remember views were collected, and all those views that were collected, 80% of them were like, we don't want this, please make it this way. But you see now the president turned a blind ear to what those views were and proceeded to go to parliament, and we ended up where we are. So the question is, could we have evaded that? The answer is yes. That is by listening to the people, and that is what democracy does. That today I can be able to tell you that I don't like this word.
Yeah.
You don't need to tell me that pour it down or throw it away. You can be man enough, you can be humble enough to come and say, let me give you another.
Okay. Peter.
Yes.
What's your take?
We have a problem in this country which we must say as it is. That the great mind of this world say that as politicians focus on the next election, readers should focus on the next generation. That's now where our president and our party, we are paying the price for. We have said that we have secured democracy in this country. Now is the high time for us as a country to secure prosperity as far as the Vision 2060 is concerned. But we have a lot of opposition against that. And I think the journey, we are headed there. Because at the end of the day, I don't think all generations which are coming will be like us, that the moment you are elected and the moment you are sworn in today, tomorrow people start strategizing how they are going to remove you. You have not even settled in the office. You have not done anything. I think it's the high time for us as readers to be great readers and start focusing on the next generation. How? This way. For example, like us as the Kenya Kwanza, as the UDA government, we are saying that we are focusing on 2060, and we are cocksure that most of us will not be there. Other readers will be, and the next generation will be there. And we want to make life better for the next generation. And that is the price we are paying. That's why you see everybody is attacking President William Ruto, because we have to pay the price of that. We are moving from a place where politicians were comfortable, politicians were not held accountable, politicians are just doing whatever they want. They were always running away with it. But now we are saying, no, excuse me here. Everybody must be accountable. We must stop focusing on the next general election and now start focusing on the next generation. Come up with ideas, come up with plans, come up with manifesto which is focused on the next generation. For example, we are saying 5 trillion in the infrastructure fund. Today we have started the journey. We just have 6%, which is $2.75 billion. Now we are headed, and what we want is 5 trillion. Can we focus on that? Now we have the plan. Now the most unfortunate thing which you are facing today is that I am not a prophet of doom, but I don't see any manifesto coming from our opposition. I don't see it. Because as we are saying, this is our plan. We have repeatedly said it. Even the other day when President came, the other people, our opposition, were expecting us to sack ministers, to sack PS. No, we have now to have the serious debate of focusing on the next generation and having the issue which can solve the issues of Kenyans. We have told President time and again, President, stop focusing on the policy, focus on the next generation by coming up with vision which is going to touch the heart of Kenyans and empower them the right way.
But this is the question to all of you gentlemen. Can we have a long-term national vision? Yes, we need to focus from next general election to the next vision. But can we have a long-term national vision without strengthening the rule of law? Mtetezi?
Yes, we can. And we have always had. In fact, Vision 2030 was a vision drawn around the year 2000. 99, the clamor began in 99, and by 2000, it was drawn. The only departure from that is what Raila had coined, and may his soul rest in peace, as an intergenerational conclave, which he said we should call each other to a table, all of us, rich, poor, minority, majority, governing and governed, and rethink about the next future. And much as he's departed, the president has said, let now, the Vision 2030 which we are using now was done by experts only. And he called those experts, because I know Professor Nyong'o was very instrumental in developing the current vision, as maybe then Minister for Planning.
Yes.
Now what the president is saying, let us appreciate what they have done and what they think we need to do, but can we now involve every citizen? Can we have everyone come to the table and give their opinion on where they want to be or their children should be in the next 30 years? Okay? And that is not a party affair or ruling party affair. It's a question of us coming together as citizens to decide our destiny. Then the politics can fit in. So the vision is there. For example, the current, we are trying to address a question of affordable housing and universal health care and supported agriculture and other interventions. These were in Vision 2030. But will 2060 be still, are we going to 2060 being agriculture dependent, rain-fed agriculture dependent, or is there interventions we need to do? Are we going to 2060 still struggling to secure a modern housing? Or can we make a modern housing a basic right, and then we work towards that? Are we going to 2060 with certain regions not developed because they are in the wrong side of politics? Like they have never elected a president, and so they are denied development. Are we going to 2060 with certain regions feeling like they deserve much than others? I mean, look at Thika Superhighway. It has been done 3 years. The Thika Superhighway, 3 years. But who are they serving? Yes, they are serving Nairobians, but they are serving a certain region. Okay? They are serving a certain region. Now that we are doing the expansion of the Nakuru Marava Highway,
Summit,
we're also trying to do the SGR going to certain regions. I mean, is it okay with others? Do they feel that now a certain segment of the society is now being given more attention than in the past? And are we going to 2060 with that kind of mentality? Or can we say any development in one region is a development for Kenya? Okay? So for us to get there, we must call each other to a table and say, politics aside, there is a Kikuyu in Nyanza who is doing very well. There is a Luo in Kiambu who's doing very well. And so a road done to one corner does not mean that it's favoring a certain community, but it's opening up Kenya for everyone. And so for us to get to 2060 with clarity, all of us must be involved. Unless the one we are discussing, Vision 2030, is very popular. But who did it? it was done by few experts, of course in good faith, but it did not involve the many people we want to involve now. Because even the Constitution now calls for the participation of people.
Yeah.
The one we had when we were doing the current vision, it was the old Constitution. It never called for public participation. This one has to. Okay?
Okay. Okay, all right, Wakili. I mean, look at it that way. The rule of law has to be adhered to. But he's talked about something to do with, regions. That is now politics and leadership, how it can influence. So we are talking about Vision 2060. Yes. Let's talk about rule of law, leadership and politics, how it will influence the long-term national vision.
One thing that takes me back is the fact that our leaders do not read the Constitution and even make an attempt to implement. Because when you're talking about whatever he has said, a certain road being constructed to serve a certain region, the Constitution talks about equal distribution of resources. So we need to have someone in power who will recognize that actually there has to be equal distribution of resources. And also we have two levels of government. We have the national government, we have the county government. So what are the roles of the national government in terms of development, and what are the roles of the county government in terms of development? So that we are able now to see development distributed across the nation equally. But when we have a leader who has the mind of a region, then that is where the problem sets in, and we will never get from out of there. We just need to read this Constitution holistically and adhere to the provisions therein, so that if it is about doing roads, every financial year we can have roads distributed across the nation. When it comes to, let's say, something like education, and now there is Vision 2060, we are asking ourselves, what is it that we need to do to ensure that every child has access to education? Right now, schools are suffering. The government is not giving capitation enough. The government is delaying capitation to schools. So we are asking ourselves, as far as that plan is there, and you see, the right to education is entrenched in the Constitution. The question is, why then should the national government delay, school capitation, for example, yet there is a right to education that needs to be facilitated urgently, such that learning does not stop? When it comes to healthcare, what is it that we have not done? And what is the position of the national government and the county government as far as healthcare is concerned? We have seen the SHA. What are the misses? What are the hits? Where can we, where can we come in as a people and have a candid discussion and just iron out issues? When it comes to public participation, as my friend has said, the Constitution gives that right. And there has been attempts previously. We had the BBI. We were almost going to have an intergenerational conclave, as was coined by the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and may his soul rest in peace, and all that. But then, what is the role of the views that Kenyans give as far as issues that are touching on their lives directly are concerned? For example, the issue of the affordable housing. What have Kenyans said? Because this is something that affects them directly. What have Kenyans said about it? Vis-a-vis the government trying to force it down the throats of people. And I came here and I asked the question: how do you tell me to, have a house, yet I have already built my house in the village, and I've worked so hard, acquired a plot somewhere here in Kajiado, and I've put up a 3-bedroom house. So where then am I going to fit in as a person to come and, borrow the idea? But at the same time, what is the government doing in terms of eradicating the slums that we have around? Mukuru kwa Njenga, Mukuru kwa Ruben, Madare, and all those things. What has the government done in terms of ensuring that those people who are living in those areas have access to affordable housing? So those are the actual questions that we as a people, we as a nation, we as a government need to ask ourselves and see to it that we need to meet the people's demands. They might be diverse, but we must also be flexible enough to be able to fit into their views. Finally, Victor, what is the space of, in terms of Vision 2030? What is the space or the place of technology? How is technology coming in to help us be able to realize all these things? Remember, Vision 2030, we did not envision a Kenya that is more enlightened, a Kenya that is more, there is ready access to information due to technology. We looked at a president who will come into the country and give through the government, give that which the people require. And that is what was happening. So what is the place of technology in terms of Vision 2030? What have we achieved? What do we aim to achieve? Where are we?
Okay.
We appreciate the fact that now Kenya is, let me say, 60%, access to internet. Then what is the government going to do about it so that this internet, this technology helps the government, the country grow or develop upwards?
Predicting the future in 2060 is so difficult.
Yes.
You even imagine that you're going to have AI today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just based on the pillars. Still not so sure what the president is going to base.
But if we take this document called the Constitution and read it holistically and become honest in trying to implement what it says, we can actually have a plan. The only problem I have with these visions is that they are not binding.
Okay.
That is why every regime will come and will have their own ideas and will do whatever they want to do.
I want us to do something. Where's your camera? Can you just say, let's take a break? To your camera. Just say, let's take a break. To your camera.
Yes?
Say, Maiv, let's take a break.
Okay, let's take a break.
All right, stay with us. All right, welcome back. Now to the final tail end of this discussion. Davis, I know you're a gentleman and you can execute this in 2 minutes. So the question I want to ask you, is it possible to have, not even possible, but how different should the Vision 2060 be from Vision 2030? We had 3 pillars, remember?
Yes.
So imagine you're sitting next to Professor Nyong there, or the panel of experts. How would you make that vision different?
Victor, in 1960, I know you said 2 minutes, there were patriots who came and fought for the nation. And today we have our own flag and our own black president and a Supreme Court judge who is black. And we've built statues for those people. In 1982, there are people who fought for multi-party democracy, and today I'm from ODM, he's from UDA, from WIPA, and we have all these political parties because of those people who fought. That generation, we are proud of them. In the year 2002, running to 2010, there are people who fought for the new constitution, and today we have a new constitution. Victor, in 2024, and that's where I'm coming with the Vision 2060, the young people who came on the streets of Nairobi, in Kisumu, in Kirinyaga, in Kisii, and they said that to end with this kind of governance, we want a new kind of governance. And Victor, this vision is our vision. It's a vision of Gen Z and some millennials. And what I'll do different with this vision is...
What do you mean some millennials?
Okay.
He's exiting the rest.
Are you trying to exit some people from the vision?
No.
Okay.
What I'm saying
get
is
what
that
you mean.
all these generations had a part to play in the life of this nation. And so it's now part of the Gen Zs to do their part with this vision. And that's why I have an appeal that this vision be made 50% of the people who are going to build this vision to be the Gen Zs. The millennials have had their time building the new constitution. The Gen Alphas and the Gen Z, boomers and blah, 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 have had their time building this nation. So I think first, have 50% Gen Zs building this kind of vision. Secondly, there are 2 things, and I don't want the president and Sifuna disagreeing on these things. We have to adhere to the freedoms must be in this vision. So that how do we envision this country 2060 in terms of our freedoms? And now Sifuna should also answer, how do we envision this country in terms of development? Let him not say that we don't want shiny things. We need those shiny things. How do we envision this country in terms of infrastructure? So I want us to merge, Victor, the freedoms with development, so that we have the hardware and the software going into 2020.
Are they part of the 3 pillars?
They are part of the 3 pillars, but I had the president
You've just singled out.
No, I'm just telling you the truth.
Out a bullet from every pillar.
Let me tell you the truth. I've had the president talking much about we've done a lot in terms of our freedoms. Now it's time to do a lot in terms of our development. That is now the wrong way. And I've heard Sifuna saying that now the justice and the freedoms are more important than the shiny things. So I want them to merge all these two things, and they have to go in tandem. You know, in the Vision 2060. And another thing in the Vision 2060 is issue of corruption. I've not heard them talk about it in the bullseye. Yeah. And also the issue of tribalism. How do we see this nation in the year 2060 in terms of our diversity, in terms of unity and prosperity? So those are some of the things I would like to see in this vision, and a lot of focus. And of course, what we've talked about, all of us, is to constitutionalize the vision, so that one government does not come and change the vision, so that it is anchored in law. There's a blueprint. And it must be participatory, so that when it is anchored in law, Sifuna must agree with the vision, so that it doesn't come and change it. So we must have Sifuna participating. We must have Rigathi Gachagua participating. We have someone from Turkana participating. We must have someone from Nyakach participating. We must have someone from Maraboy participating. We must have journalists participating, lawyers participating, and women and Muslims and Jews and Christians and Hindus if they are in this nation. So we must have this vision to be participatory.
Thank you. The number of times you've called Sifuna on this set.
No.
Peter. How should we make it differently?
We have to change lemon into lemonade. A lemon is a bitter fruit. Lemonade is a sweet fruit. We have started the journey. I'm just going to give an example in 3 things. That one, we should not waste pain. Pain means that we have suffered enough. So we should not waste that pain by just focusing on things which cannot help us. We thank His Excellency the President William Ruto because he has started with the first or second step. Today we have the infrastructure fund, which has $2.75 billion saved there. The second thing is that we should look at the bigger picture. We should look at the bigger picture, not the bad picture. What are called tribal chiefs, they always say they look at the bad picture. As a country, we should now start focusing on the bigger picture. How are we going to achieve this Vision 2060 positive for us? And the third thing, we must bury our dead. Our dead means that we cannot be talking about somebody who was impeached, sijui something which was done, sijui by who, sijui did in the mortuary and the other. Let me finish.
Just a minute. Just the bigger picture, Peter. Just the bigger picture.
Yes.
We have got 3 social pillars.
Yes.
The 3 pillars in the Vision 2030.
Yes.
The social, political, and
economy.
Apart from calling names, how does it affect that person in the, Kenya, Beacon 1, the other side of Kenya and Ethiopia border? That's what I'm asking. In fact, so that we move away from the discussion of personalities.
I told you one thing when I commented earlier, that His Excellency the President William Ruto is paying the price of moving this country from the tribal chiefs to the national picture. He's looking this country in a national way. Because, for example, like in the hospitals, we are constructing 70 new level 4 hospitals in the whole country. When you come to affordable housing, they are being constructed in 40 counties out of 47. Roads are cutting across counties from Nairobi all the way to Garissa, to Moyale, to there. From the other one, from Nairobi here all the way to Mau Summit, all the way to the border on the Kisumu side, all the way to the border on the other Eldoret side. So, and also the railway line. Yes. So we are focusing on the national picture. And that's the price which I can vividly say here without any doubts in my mind. That's the price President William Ruto is paying of now removing this country from the tribal chiefs to the national and greater picture.
So if you are giving in a chance to sit on that table, how should that vision be different from this one? You've not answered my question.
One, we must involve all the stakeholders.
That is one.
As it was stated, it must be involve all the stakeholders.
Thank you.
The second thing is that us as Kenyans, we must own it.
Very good. Number 3?
Number 3, we should put the right resources on those ideas to make sure that whatever must be done has been done, and the resources is there and it's realistic at the same time.
You've answered my question. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
You're a good man.
Thank you.
Wakili. How different should it be? Look at it this way. We have got so many legal minds put together, you know, the technocrats and the think tanks who are there. Look at it this way. In the year 2060, you talked about it, but how different should it be? Leave alone the 3 pillars that we have.
You see, we must first of all understand history, our current state, and then look at the future. My problem is we have not understood how far we have done in terms of Vision 2030. I'll be able to appreciate what has been done so that we are able to see the misses and be able to enhance and come up with a better plan. That's now what we call Vision 2060. It has not been launched. I don't know what is there, but I am eager to know what is going to be there so that we can be able to look at what we have done, what we have not done.
I see what you've done there. Thank you. Yes, Mtetezi. In 30 seconds.
In 2060, I want us to have a complete paradigm shift. Like right now, a good percentage of the citizenry are educated and they are eligible for a job. But I don't want to see a situation where one person is hired permanently and his classmates are jobless for the entire period. I want a rotational public service job. You get a job for 10 years. At whatever age you join public service, you serve 10 years, you go to hustle like the rest of Kenyans, and others also join. That's one. Also, I want a net exporter economy where we manufacture more, process more, then export finished products, rather than the situation that is now where we are exporting raw material. So I want a situation where Kenya is fully industrialized and that every Kenyan is involved in value addition in 2060. And by 2060, I want us not to have too much reliance on presidential mercy so that a region can be developed.
Yeah.
A uniformly developed region and a free society. And a society where those who are less fortunate are supported. But I also want us a more responsible community. You know, there is a spiraling sense of carelessness where people want to give birth to 6 children, 10 children, and then they leave it for government to educate.
Yep.
Let everyone be told that you have a responsibility over your own children. But I want a free education, a free primary, secondary, and university education system, which is high quality and which denies the public schools and private schools investors opportunity to invest, where there's no private education and every education is free and equal and uniform.
Okay. I want to ask you a question. Gentlemen, have you, for those who've traveled out of the country, have you ever missed Kenya the moment you landed in a different country for just 1 hour? Have you ever missed home?
Yes.
How much do you miss this country when you get there? For just even 2-3 days?
In Uganda.
All right. So for me, I just want a good country. It's as simple as that.
In Uganda, you cannot say hi to a policeman.
And some other places.
But in Kenya, we take selfies, right?
Yeah, here it's okay.
For me, I just want a good country. It's as simple as that.
That is Vision 2060.
Yeah, just a good
country. Because we say that we have a secure democracy. Kind of Kenyans, can we secure prosperity?
Yeah, when you say something good is good. I mean, everything is good. A land of...
But also, if we are looking at the future, we must look at the young people, where they are going, and have a plan for them. And that is a good thing that the president is doing. Only that. He needs to now have everybody involved so that we don't become participants, we become involved fully in coining that vision.
We'll have this discussion in the future, now that in the next 48 or so hours, the president will be officially launching it. That will be the next discussion we'll be having, I think, in the next couple of weeks to come as we continue. Thank you so much. Mosiori Mtetezi, asante sana for coming to the show. For the first time hosting you here, that's a good one. Of course, Wakili is not new to Jerusalem. Asante sana for coming. Franco Nchweri, who is an advocate of the High Court. And of course, Binoloch, thank you so much for coming to the Shenpit.
Next time,
Asante sana.
give me the memo that says that we should be on suit. I don't know who gave out the memo. My memo was wrong. Next time, the memo should be right.
I'll pass the memo.
Someone wanted to embarrass me on national TV.
No, we are good men. We are good
Thank you
men.
so much for hosting us.
Asante sana.
Yes.
All right, now let's cross over to Naivasha.